Hello, everybody. How you doing tonight? So this is the first time I've ever done this. Normally I'm here with somebody else. So we're just gonna kind of chill out, hang out, kind of talk. I want to hear about you guys. I've got so many faces that I've never really met before, so want to hear about you guys. Um, feels so weird. Um, but anyway, I want to learn about you guys, and if you have any questions about me, if there's anything exciting you want to talk to or talk about tonight. Hey, Baggins, how you doing? Stacy, Mama T, Sandra, Kim, Snoop, Bama Huntress, Sherry. Did I get everybody? Nope. Silver Foxtress. How y'all doing tonight? Let's talk about it. How you doing? Jamie. So before we get started, just remember this is drama free. We're not going to talk about any other creators, any subs from other channels. We just want to have fun and chill out. And yes, make sure you switch to live chat because it tends to do weird things. Hey, you can be a girl. That's cool. I'm down with that. Hey Mandy. Anybody have any questions or what would we like to talk about tonight? Any excitement going on the YouTubes that I've missed out on today? Because I haven't really been paying attention. So I'm kind of curious as to if there's anything exciting, any drama going on. Um, is there anything like in any of the channels that are exciting, like, I don't know, just new things going on? What are your preferred pronouns, Baggins? It what? Come on up, Mr. Baggins. You're always fun. Oh, you just got here. It's fine. We literally just started, Stacy. You want to hop on up with me, Stacy? Baggins won't join me. He doesn't like me. He should do the podcast. I think they're on Wednesdays. So he should do another one. I don't know what time he posts them though. But from what I understand, it's Wednesday. And I mean, Saturday there was a cease and desist, so I don't know. I think I'm kind of curious how he's going to take to that because I don't think he's going to be too happy to hear, she sent. Well, hello, Leon. Leon, you should jump on panel because we love Leon. Leon the extraterrestrial is just my best friend. He's so cute too. I like him. Where's your girlfriend? Do you have a girlfriend, Leon? Okay, I guess not. Um, really? Glam and Gore is going to start. That sounds like that'll be fun. So is it like glamour combined with like murder stuff? Leon's girlfriend! There she is! And that's true. I mean, 4 didn't do any good, so I mean, what's 1? It's nothing. That's like chicken scratch. I'm sure he'll use it to make a paper airplane. So Leon's girlfriend, what is your name besides Leon's girlfriend? I was going for like Leona, maybe? Where is Julie? I can't believe she's not here. So anyway, yeah, I think that whole situation's just really odd. Oh, Beatrice. Ah, that's a beautiful name. And you have such a cute little bow. Um, but yeah, I think that that's gonna just be kind of an interesting situation because I don't know, Todd Chrisley's he's not someone you really wanna mess with, you know? So we'll see. Um, Stacy says Leon's staying on Earth too long. He's getting in trouble. That's because he's out getting cigarettes. Like, do they have cigarettes on whatever planet you're from? I'm just curious. Her name is Mickey. She has a huge channel and got called out for problematic behavior last year. Now she's ready to make a comeback. She's a special effects artist. Interesting. I'm gonna have to check into that one because it sounds kind of interesting, especially if she's, had some behavior issues. Because that's always fun to watch, the extra added stuff to it. Leon's going native. Oh, Teabo, you always keep me laughing. Kim, did she ever acknowledge what happened? Do you know? Hmm. Pardon me for the dead air. I'm really just working on this. Um, yeah, I really think I'm gonna look into that glam and gore though, because it sounds like it would be interesting. Oh, okay. Tweeted a note statement and yeeted herself off the internet. Oh, one of those. We've had a lot of those lately, haven't we? Where they just kind of make a little note and then disappear into the wild yonder. And it's not a good look. It's not a good look at all. I mean, at least accept some accountability because I think that's been a huge problem with a lot of the things that I've seen is that there's just no accountability from, like isn't that what happened to Def Noodles? Is he just kind of like let it go under? I mean, there was something about him and Twitter, right? That's how I do it, just fi a non-apology and make videos using a voice changer. Hey, it works. It really does, you know? Um, I mean, I know there's quite a few creators that do nothing but voice changers, and, more power to them because then you don't have to worry about anybody, like, seeing you on the street and knowing who you are. Good to see you, sweet home Alamanda. Silver Foxtress says she was still a big fan, not entirely sure what happened, but got called out for problematic behavior, then disappeared. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to look into that one because it looks like, from what you're saying, it looks like it'll be kind of an interesting one to follow. Oh, Leon, some of us humanoids do have trouble apologizing. That's unfortunate, but you know. Oh, and Leon's girlfriend didn't make that ship payment, huh? And they keep calling. Are they going to repo the ship? Is that what's going to happen here? It does suck. I mean, who wants to be wrong? I mean, I like to be right all the time. So. Hey, Bad Art Tangent, how you doing? Hey, D Connor. Good to see you guys here. Bad Art Tangent's everywhere, and I love it because always such a fun person to see. I love it. Hey, Katie Beach. Uh, You're right, Baggins. You really are. In the long run, it's better just to own it. I think that's kind of an issue like everywhere. When you don't accept, what you did wrong, then I think a lot of people just get more upset. Whereas if you just say, "Hey, dude, I did this," and then you can just move on. So I think it just drags it out more. And I see that more and more every day, like in general, everywhere I go, and it's just kind of sad. Oh, Leon, sending it Venmo. Um, exactly, Kim. Own thy nasty. Exactly. And it's not. I don't know. It is hard to admit when you're wrong, and I mean, ugh, it's just tough. But I've always thought that it just works out so much better. If you don't, then people just hold it over your head forever, and Stacy. Is that really a Stacy, or do I need to ask about, if you're gonna flash, guy bits?
Uh, Nobody would want me to flash anything, I promise you. The PayPal would be flooded with people like, tell her to stop and we will pay you.
I couldn't believe that when I heard that happened on, was it Aaron's chat that happened on, where somebody came on panel and just showed their guy bits?
And I've seen that happen too. Well, and the person we were watching was saying really awful stuff about people, but I've seen people get bombed with that stuff. Like, and they even showed their face for a minute and then started playing.
Oh my god, no. Well, what's her name? The,
Oh man, I know who you're talking about. The one that
Some Shanny for
Shani for
Christ.
Christ.
Didn't she show her boobies?
She showed something to Negs and somebody.
Yeah, there was something. I was like, "Whoa," and I mean, I don't know. She's kind of I think that would probably scar me for life. I mean, nothing against her, but I'm just not into that, you know? I mean, that's just never been my thing. Um Silver Fox just wants a full moon.
Yeah. So you couldn't have gotten me to do that back when I did have a body worth showing.
True. Let's see. What did I miss? Hey, Tyra. What are you eating, Lord Baggins? I don't know what I just missed. What are you eating? He says he's gonna eat it, and Leon would like to know if he's seasoning it. So I'm really curious. Oh, okay, okay, got it, got it. Um, so
Yeah, I don't
do you
think that you
have
can season that enough, y'all.
so do you guys have any exciting cult things coming up? The Heaven's Gate one was so cool.
Uh, so Kim blew me out of the water with the editing on that. 'Cause, I mean, we are new,
No, but
and
she did a great job.
that was amazing. I actually rewatched it again today. I was like, I can't believe this is on our channel.
No, I mean, you guys have a lot to be proud of with that. You really do. And I mean, you're hitting on something that there's not a lot of people doing, which is really kind of cool. I don't know. Like, seriously, Heaven's Gate, you don't hear a lot about that anymore, which is weird because it was such a big deal when it happened.
My husband was like, "You guys should have linked to the SNL skit." Like, no, no, we're good on that one.
Yeah, that was, but back then, I swear that the 90s was like the 70s was great for SNL, and then I think the 90s were really good, and like everything else was just, I mean, is it even still on? It finally went off, didn't it?
I know. I think it's still on, and I know that people were ready to cancel them over like how they covered Donald Trump or any other politician on there. And I'm like, if y'all are mad about this, you would not be able to make it through 3 episodes from my childhood.
No, I mean, gosh, do you remember like, well, you might not be, I think you might be young enough, you might not remember it. Baggins would though. The Gerald Ford ones. I think that was Chevy Chase, I think, that did that.
Well,
Um,
then you
and
have the
then
Bill
Ronald
Clinton.
Reagan, the Bill Clinton was great though. That was great. That was the one that died, right?
Um,
Um, God, what's his name? I can picture him and I just can't think of his name off the top of my head, but he was like almost perfect. He was spot on.
was it?
Yeah, Chevy Chase was Jerry Ford, but who was Bill Clinton? Do you remember?
I don't. I just remember as a little child not actually understanding what they meant by
Phil Hartman, yeah.
what they
Yeah, I
meant
mean
by like the I did not inhale and stuff.
yeah, you're a little bit younger than me. I think I was I was like, I think 14 maybe when he was elected.
Let
It was
alone
so
what the dress
funny.
with the stain meant.
Yeah, it was so funny. Monica Lewinsky had a birthday like in the last few weeks, and she was saying that she just realized she's officially spent more than half of her life in the public eye. And that's kind of weird to think that, how long ago it was with her, and she said she was in the public eye, but what has she done?
Well, and that also shows you how far we've come as a society, because now Monica Lewinsky would not have been the one drug through and made to look like the bad guy. Because, like, let's be honest, this was a 20-something-year-old intern to the president.
Exactly.
If ever a power dynamic existed, I feel like that would be one.
Yeah, exactly. And it was just such a sticky situation, and I don't care what party you follow. It was just a sticky situation. It's just, I guess, literally,
Yeah, yeah, literally.
literally, when they did Linda Tripp skits with John Goodman, those were good, Sweet Home Alamanda. But I mean, John Goodman's just funny in general, I mean,
Even
yeah.
in roles where he's not supposed to be funny, he's amazing. He's an amazing actor.
Oh, I totally agree. Um, it's so funny because he's one of the ones that he's been really consistent throughout his career, which is awesome. I'm trying to think of who else has been as consistently funny as him. Exactly, let's talk about it. Love John Goodman for sure. Um, oh, did anybody watch Night Court?
Yes,
Did you see Marky Post just passed away?
I didn't.
Yeah, I saw it pop up on my Twitter feed today. 70 years old, I believe, from cancer. But I mean, she was so funny. I loved her as the public defender because she was so innocent. Until the end, I don't know, it seemed like at the end she started kind of like not having that innocence, but it was just funny cuz like things went right over her head. Yes, Kim, Will Ferrell is great. He is. He's really good.
So my thing with Will Ferrell is that I've noticed that I have more fun talking about the stuff he says in his movies than actually watching the movie, which is what makes it great for me.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the thing I like about him is like he doesn't like okay, so like Jim Carrey, I I never liked his humor, like The Mask and all. I just never was really a big fan. And Will Ferrell just seemed to be a little bit, I don't know, more classy about it, but he was just really funny, if that makes sense.
And I love Jim Carrey when I was like a very small child, and was the first Ace Ventura came out.
Yeah.
By the time the second Ace Ventura came out, I had already matured out of that humor bracket because
Yeah.
it was just too over the top.
Yeah, I think when The Mask came out, I was like maybe 18. And I mean, that was just never my type of humor. I'm just it's just hard to I mean, he has had some roles that I really liked, some of his later roles, with Jim Carrey, but some of his earlier I like Liar Liar just was I don't know, it was just too much. What do we got going on here? Snoop Medic says, "I love Will Ferrell too. I like my baby Jesus in a tuxedo shirt." Exactly. Dude, Ricky Bobby. That was a great movie too. That was so funny. I think that was Will Ferrell as the race car driver, right?
Yes, that was Talladega Nights.
Yeah. Yeah. That was so funny though. It really was. I think that was one of his better roles, really.
There's so many parts of that movie that are amazing, but one of my favorites is when he keeps stabbing himself in the leg.
Yes.
He's like, I'm never gonna walk. They're like, they didn't say that.
Yeah, Silver Foxtrot. Jim Carrey has had some really good serious roles. There was the one, what was it, Maple Street, Maple Drive, something like that, where it was the sister, there was the R incident with her, and that was just a great role. It's been a long time since I've seen it though, so I'm probably remembering it wrong, but
I'm so out
s
of the movie scene. Like I haven't seen any. I watch a lot of TV shows anymore, but I think the last movie I watched was that series on Netflix, The Fear Street, and I only watched those because I used to read the books as a kid.
oh, are they good? Hey, Miss Julie.
They were surprisingly very good. Like they're pretty good with the book.
Okay. I mean, I've got Netflix, and I mean, there's nothing really on right now, so it's something I can definitely check out 'cause it sounds great.
I made my husband watch it with me. I was like, just in case there's some scare jumps, because I don't like those. You're watching this too?
Yeah, and, I'm not big on, like, horror movies, so, I mean, they creep me out, not gonna lie. Now but I did like the Saw series,
Yeah.
ironically.
I loved scary movies as a kid, but like now that I'm older, I'm like, I'm not going to pay money to be scared. I can just look at my bills if I want to do that. So,
It just it took me a second, but I connected with what you just said. Let's
well,
talk about I quoted Talladega Nights and said Step Brothers. We're such big fans. I just interchanged the quotes apparently. Uh, let's see. Leon, that Julie lady is here. You better. Leon's girlfriend is here, Julie. So just be careful. She might arm wrestle you for Leon. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
like, I don't know, Leon's girlfriend. I don't know if you've seen Julie or not, but she has this little baby Yoda she wears on her head.
And I've heard she's pretty scrappy. Snoop Medic, yeah, the Saw movies. And the thing about Saw that I liked, and it got really gory, and that kind of bothered me because I'm not into gore like that. But the problem was it had a story. It had a storyline, and if you didn't watch them all, you missed it. But I will say, I called it from the beginning. I said Dr. Gordon didn't die. Everybody laughed at me, but Dr. Gordon didn't die. For anybody that spoiler alert. Uh, Leon has emotions for Julie Virgo. Uh-oh, we're gonna have a love triangle going on here.
I mean, I kind of saw Julie flirting with Leon earlier, so it might go both ways.
I think so. This is a little creepy. Are you gonna go up in the spaceship with them when they get it back from the impound lot?
Do we need to send you some black Nikes?
You left me for a little bit, Teabo. What was that about? There's no reason to leave me. Now I feel hurt. Let's see. What else do we have going on here? Let's see. Truman
Baby.
Show. Yeah, the Truman Show was good, Mandy. It really was. It's actually one of the things I did enjoy. And Shermere says that what? You don't like potty mouth stuff, Stacy?
I was I was seeing where Let's Talk About It says, I'll admit the Blair Witch scared the ever loving out of me the first time I saw it. Haven't camped in a tent since. Yeah, so it did me too. And then immediately after that, me and my friends decided we were going to film our own Blair Witch project. And the way we did that was there was an abandoned house on her street that was actually an abandoned meth house. And we were in there climbing through crap. Luckily, we didn't catch anything or hurt ourselves filming ourselves making this movie. And I am so glad that that tape no longer exists.
Okay, so don't hate on me. I don't think I've ever seen the Blair Witch Project.
Really.
I don't think I have. I mean, I remember when it came out, but for some reason, I don't think I ever watched it.
And I can't watch movies like that now where the camera is like someone's running with it the whole time.
To me, that would be creepy. Because, I mean, I don't know. Was it like, did you feel like you were more in the movie because of that? How that, instead of it being like a still, do you feel like because it was moving, it creeped you out more?
I think it was because everyone else was so scared that like everyone was in the theater together just scared. Because after you watch it again, like a second or a third time, you're like, especially at home. If you like watched it in the theater and then you watch it again at home and you're like, all right, you guys are going to be terrified. And then they
Yeah.
watch it with you and you're like, okay, I swear this was scarier when I watched it the first time.
Well, yeah, I think a lot of them are though. It's like, once you've seen it now you don't have that although there are some that still do. I mean, I will say, but most of them, I think once you've seen it and understand where it's going, it's kind of like, yeah. I'm trying to think of which one it was though. I mean, like Saw, even though I've seen them all, but there's still some parts where like something to jump out at you and it still just kind of creeps me out a little bit. Did you see 7?
Like, is that the one with the head in the box?
Yes. What's in the box?
Yeah.
What's in the box? That one was so good though, like for its time.
Well, and for the longest time, my husband, there was this dog that lived next door to us who looked like all he would ever do is get boxes out of people's trash and play with it. And he kept saying that. And it took me forever before I realized where he was getting that from. And I was like, you're bringing back like childhood trauma from when I was allowed to watch things at a much too young age.
Exactly. I have to laugh. What was the movie that Oh, had Devon Sawa. God dang it. It was the one where his hand
Idle
did
hands.
thing. Yes. So at the time we were living in this old brick house, this old red two-story brick house. And I want to say my girls were like maybe 5 and 7. It would have had to been about that age. And we watched it on Halloween, and they would not go upstairs until, because our bedroom was up there too, but they refused to go up those stairs until we did because they were terrified. And I'm like, but it's not even scary.
When I was 16, I took my younger brother to see a scary movie called Darkness Falls, and we were the only two people in the theater. And then when we walked out, of course, you didn't have like automatic locks and stuff. You're trying to stick your key into this keyhole in the dark, and you just saw this movie that the whole idea is that this person can only get you if you're in the dark.
Ew, that's creepy.
So me and my
That's super
brother,
creepy.
we're driving all the way back to our home with the dome light on. And I'm telling everyone how scary and terrifying this movie is. So they all rent it. Well, it's only scary in the dark when you're the only two people in a surround sound theater watching it, because it was about the tooth fairy who could only get you in the dark. The level of embarrassment I had when my friends started trying to watch this because I told them how scary it was, I can't even begin to describe. Hey,
Well, welcome aboard, Mr. Baggins. How you doing?
yeah, The Blair Witch was the first major movie that used the one camera style. Like, I can't watch movies like that now. I will get so sick just bouncing and jumping around like that.
Are you muted? We can't hear you.
I was muted. My bad. I muted my mic.
I'm
I
like,
was I was
I
actually
can see
saying
your lips.
I was saying that Stacy probably doesn't watch a lot of YouTube horror series then, because they do that shit a lot.
No. I mean, I really very rarely watch horror movies at all anymore. I'm like, well, like I was saying, I'm barely watching movies. I've really jumped on the
Yeah,
whole TV show thing now that binge watching is a thing. I'm like, I have an endless supply of television shows.
Oh yeah,
exactly.
yeah. Me too.
And and I like to wait like till the end of the season so I don't have to, have that week in between because I don't have the patience for that. It's like, no, I need to know right now.
I have to really, really like a show to watch it in real time anymore. Like, it's just all ruined for me now.
Yeah,
Yeah, I kind of
exactly.
do that
Same
whole.
here. Yeah, that's the type of movie that makes me motion sick too, where you're watching them. Yeah, that's just yeah, I agree.
Now, when I was a small kid, and I mean like small, me and my sister would run through the Blockbuster trying to rent like the new Child's Play, and my mom would be like, "Yeah, that's fine. There's a new Chucky movie. Let's get it."
How old were you when they started letting you watch horror movies?
Oh man, my mom worked night shift, so like me and my sister, I was probably in kindergarten, and she would be doing Pennywise's voice to me while I would be trying to fall asleep because she knew it would scare me. Like, we were watching horror movies when we were young.
You know, I'm sorry. I have this deathly fear of clowns. I'm just gonna throw that out there. That's my dark secret, guys. I'm deathly afraid of clowns. So
I have no
don't tell me
problem with clowns. Mimes, on the other hand, mimes are fucking scary because you will never hear them coming.
No,
that.
see,
And the only thing that can kill them are weapons with silencers.
when Pennywise come up in that shower scene, that did it for me.
Yeah. No, I can't do it. Like Pennywise wasn't it, was it?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, the it one just terrified me. It just terrified me and I'm like, "Okay, I'm done."
You know, the book actually freaked the shit out of me.
I was fixing to say, the book is really disturbing too.
Well,
Yeah, especially the whole preteen gangbang scene.
That's exactly what I was thinking of.
That's
I was like, the only way this adult person could come up with how to defeat this thing is for the one girl and all the boys. Okay. And my mom let me read this as a kid.
Needless to say, this was written during the height of Stephen King's coke addiction, so that explains volumes.
yeah, but you know what? Stephen King is freaking gold. Has he written anything that didn't become a blockbuster? Except for when he wasn't Stephen King. Like, I think he started writing under a different name.
Well, he actually redid a couple movies that people made of his, and they all are horrible.
I agree, Snoop Medic. No clowns in my life. When I was a kid, we lived in this old house, and I kind of talked about it when AZ did it was, I think, the IG about paranormal, and it was this old it was an old railroad conductor's house, because where I lived was like 2 miles from the railroad yard. So the house was actually built in pieces. It was so weird. But the basement was so absolutely creepy and had this built-in bookshelf, and it had my mom's Stephen King collection. And I don't know if you might have seen it, Baggins, the old Carrie that had the actual picture of Sissy Spacek covered in the it's
the
supposed
pig's
to be
blood.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw that and I literally was terrified because I was only like 5. And that cover of that book was just terrifying. And the movie was worse.
And Cher actually brings up Cher points out that when Stephen King started, he wrote his novels under the pen name Richard Bachman.
But they weren't as successful as that, were they?
They weren't, but they were still some really good books. Like, a couple of my favorite novels of his are his Richard Bachman books.
But you know what amazes me is like things that I didn't realize was his. Like, I had no clue The Green Mile was his.
Oh.
Pretty sure The Green Mile was his.
That's a good book.
It's a very good book. Like,
Stephen King wrote a fantasy novel, a young adult fantasy novel too.
Did he really?
Yeah, it's called Eyes of the Dragon. It's actually really good. I would recommend that.
Is it his son that started writing recently?
Do you remember all those made-for-TV movies of his that used to come on in the 90s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. He was gold. He was literally gold. Like, every single thing he did was not only a print success, but like how many of the movies that were based on his stuff were literally blockbusters, whether it be TV or movies.
Well, I remember watching the Langoliers and being like, how awesome would it be to have the whole world just do whatever you want? Y'all are the only people here. But then, of course, the Langoliers come out and start eating stuff. But
Creep Show. Oh my gosh, yes, Mandy. Creep Show was so...
I love that movie.
That was so movie. Good. Or how about Cat's
Stephen
Eye?
King? It was Stephen King and George Romero working together. I mean, how could you go wrong?
Exactly. Anybody remember Cat's Eye though, with the cat sucking the breath out of Drew Barrymore?
No, the cat wasn't doing that. The cat was not doing that.
It was the alien. It was the alien or whatever. Everybody thought
the goblin.
It was like, yeah, the goblin. Yeah, I mean, but it was so creepy because I mean, I think I was in my teens when that came out. I think Misery was great too.
I think I was about like 11 or 12 when that came out.
Without Stephen King, we wouldn't have The Lawnmower Man, which was cinematic genius.
Wasn't he Running Man too, maybe? Was he Running Man too?
Yeah. Yeah, he wrote The Running Man. It was one of his Bachman books.
Yeah.
I think the movie is better, but I think the movie is a lot better, but
well, I mean, yeah, I definitely think so. But I mean, that was from his unpolished stage too, though. Like, his books now are so much better than the movies. Yes, exactly, Shamir. That goblin was creepy. I was thinking he was an alien, but he was creepy. And
don't disparage Leon.
What's Leon doing now? It wasn't you. Are you sure?
Don't disparage Leon.
The dark.
Of course, even like our young adult, like our young teenage, young kid, scary books from when I was a kid would not be like the books parents would be buying their kids now, because who would have their 7-year-old reading Christopher Pike?
True. They brought back a creep show series for Amazon Prime. I believe he and his son Joe Hill are the right. Yeah, Joe Hill. That's what I was trying to think of. It wasn't bad. Yeah, he went by a different name because he didn't want to ride on the success of his dad. And apparently his books are really good too. So props to him for wanting to make it on his own merits rather than, dad.
So I still don't like Cornfield's Stew Medic. It is definitely not underappreciated.
I love that. I love that movie. And yeah, I can't hang out near cornfields after that.
Okay, so for those of us in the Midwest, there's a lot of corn here. Well, Leon, that wasn't you, but you have been stalking the guinea pigs lately. Stay away from them. Oh, Leon's girlfriend, are you telling tales on Leon again?
Yeah, well, guinea pigs are a part of Leon's diet, apparently.
Woof. Bugsy B says it's called Black
No
House.
wonder he likes
Stephen King and Peter Straub. It's good but freaky. Black House. I'm gonna have to look that one up. That movie freaked me out. I haven't read that kid.
One. I know he and Peter Straub worked on another book together, and I forget the name of it, but
it's on Amazon right now.
I'm gonna go back to sleep later and have like the craziest dreams of all of my childhood nightmares all into one. Like,
just as long as you don't think about the creepy clowns. What are the best?
We all float down here, Stacy.
What are the short stories they made into a TV series?
It was trash.
I don't know. Do you know Baggins?
I don't know.
It was a Stephen King.
Oh, I think it was on USA. I remember seeing something.
I'm drawing a complete blank. I mean,
are you talking about the one where like it takes place in Maine, because all of Stephen King's stuff does, and the lady, there was like this house that falls, and she comes every so many years, and the people get touched?
I think so. Because I know there was like a mini series, and it was like, God, it's probably been like 5 or so years ago at this point. It's the same world that the Dark Tower series is in. There's a sequel, and it freaked me out. Castle Rock. Castle Rock doesn't sound right. It doesn't sound right.
Haven.
Haven?
Yeah, there was a Haven that was a Stephen King show that was made into a series for Sci-Fi.
Maybe that's what I was thinking of.
I hadn't heard of that.
Sharemare, is Black House the second, not the first? I haven't read them in 18 years. Now you have to read them again. Dude, I mean, you could read Stephen King a million times and still find something different. Because, like, he has such little, like, gems, these little nuggets that you can find just because of how he writes.
So a non-horror little nugget that Bugsy found that she shared with me is Pig Royalty. If any of you guys have Discovery Plus.
Pig Royalty?
And it follows two families that are royalty in the pig showing world.
Huh.
And it's a reality show that it is something. Like I'm seriously like, you guys better give me a season 2 of this crap.
Snoop Medic,
and
Fraggle Rock.
I'd like to thank
Leon's.
I'd like to thank Leon's girlfriend, because I could not figure out. I didn't know the name of King and Straub's first book, but Leon's girlfriend pointed out that it's Talisman. Thank you.
Hey, leave it to Leon's girlfriend. She knows it all. She knows all about all the human books. Might have to check and see if it's free on Amazon Prime again. Which one was that? Oh, the Black House.
I didn't realize that they were bringing out a new season of that show, Leverage. So, like, that's what I did all, like, I think it was last weekend. I was like, okay, well, I guess I know where I'm spending my day.
Nightmares and Dreamscapes. That's exactly what it was, Kim. But I think it was on USA, right? I think it was on USA. Because I watched, like, one, and I was like, okay, whatever. But I think it's how they actually did. It wasn't, like, the storyline. I think it was just how they... I don't know. I think it was just how they shot it. I don't think it was really the book's fault.
Oh, no, Nightmares and Dreamscapes was kind of crap.
Was it?
Honestly. I thought so.
I mean, it wasn't Dolores
Claiborne levels of crap, but it was still pretty crap.
I kind of like Dolores Claiborne, but maybe it's just because
I couldn't stand it.
I just remember my whole family sitting down together to watch the newest Tales from the Crypt every week. Like, that was a normal family
My brother
thing.
and I used to love that show.
That was so good. HBO, right?
Yeah.
Well, it was on HBO, and then it went over to Fox. So the HBO episodes are a lot worse than the episodes you're going to see on Fox, but none of them are meant for the family to sit down and enjoy together.
Well, I mean, it was, cable. You can't do that stuff on. That's the thing. I hate when they take something good like that and they put it on like regular TV, because they're going to cut it to shreds. They can't have the blood or the gore because you don't want to, freak out little kids.
Well, and they kept that in. It was the undertones that they took out when it went over to Fox. But like, it just cracks me up to think about how all these families would sit down together, like whatever day it came on. You're like, well, it's Friday. We've all got to watch Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah.
Yay, Daddy, Tales from the Crypt.
And that's like a commercial would come on and be like, somebody run and grab more popcorn, somebody else go.
No, that's like such a throwback though. I wish, do they have that on like Amazon Prime?
They might have that on HBO Max.
I don't have that.
I don't know if they would. I don't know if Fox still owns that, or if HBO owns it, or who bought it.
My sister kept trying to make me sit through the intro for Tales from the Crypt, and I rarely made it downstairs. Oh, Mandy, that would terrify me. I don't know. I feel like Stephen King just had such a... Yeah, I was... You're a little bit older than me. Not too much older, though. So I think...
Wait, how old are you, Jen?
46.
Okay, yeah, I'm like a year older than you.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was pretty close. So, yeah, that's why I was like, you and I talk about the same things, because we grew up at the same time.
Yeah, we grew up in that same time period.
Yeah. But I mean, that's the thing about Stephen King, though. He has such a wide variety. Like, there was the Tom Gordon. I can't remember
The Girl Who Loves Tom Gordon.
Yes, and that wasn't particularly creepy. It was more just...
No. I liked it.
That's the thing. I mean, I like how he can be super creepy, but he can also do more dramatic. Like, The Green Mile wasn't especially creepy either,
No.
In my impression.
No, he's an excellent writer all around.
Exactly. I like Mr. Mercedes series too. The TV show messed up the order, so I stopped watching. I haven't ever seen that one before.
I
Have
hadn't
you
either.
heard of that one? Huh. Okay, Stacy, your sister owes you therapy. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Shermere, it was not
Yeah,
creepy, but he couldn't touch
I have
me.
two older brothers, so I need a lot of therapy.
See, I'm the oldest, so my brother needs a
Uh,
lot of therapy.
I'm right in the middle. So I get therapy from my older brothers, and my sisters need therapy because they had to deal with me
Hey,
and one of my older brothers.
well, it's so funny because of the age gap between me and my brother and my sister. So I'm older than my brother by 6 years, and then I'm older than my sister by 18, so my brother was 12. So in essence, my brother got to be the youngest and the oldest because, obviously I moved out. So it's
Right.
kind of that's kind of a weird situation to be in. I've always asked him, he's like, it was just weird.
Yeah,
Just
it was like that for my sisters too, because I there's a 12 and a 14-year age gap
Yep,
between me and my little sisters.
exactly. So somebody moved out and so they became the older one then basically.
Right. Yeah, I
Yeah.
moved out. Yeah, my brother moved out, and then I became like the oldest, and then I moved out like a year later, and then my sister got to be like the head of the children.
Yeah, that makes
See, my
sense.
younger sister is 10 years younger than me, so I got to make her into me. Like,
Oh, is she your mini me?
she is absolutely, like, to the point that in one of her yearbooks, they actually wrote my name next to her picture instead of her. And I had already graduated like 5 years ahead of.
Oh, Snoop Medic, you must be our age too. I was 6 when Thriller came out. It scared me so much I can hear the first 2 notes and get goosebumps. I think that's about wouldn't we have been about 6, 7?
That was like that one
I was about
decade where
8.
MTV played music, right?
Yeah,
What
yeah,
was that?
but
Yeah.
back in the good old days.
Back in that was actually one of my first cassette tapes. Back when it was still cassette tapes. It was that and Duran Duran. Those were my I had the 2 Duran Duran ones that were popular, Seven and the Ragged Tiger and Rio. And then Michael Jackson's Thriller. That was like constant. My parents were like, "Can you please just shut that crap off?"
My first cassette tape was a mashup of Blondie and Pat Benatar.
Oh, nice.
Okay, good. I
That's
can
some
go
good
with that.
selections. That's some very good selections. Kim, I agree. Why are people always running books with movies or shows? People just read, you'll love it. And that's true because most movies are nowhere near as good as the book. I mean, I think there's like a small select handful, but normally they leave so much out.
So Kim and I will both, if we know that there's a movie that or a book that goes with the movie, we won't watch the movie until we've read the book. And I have had a couple times where I didn't realize there was a book and watched the movie and been so mad about it and been like, now I never will watch this movie again and I'm not reading the book.
I mean, yeah. I mean, and it's always best to read the book first. I mean, seriously, like Harry Potter, there's so much left out, you know?
And a lot of times when people say, like, I don't know why people like Harry Potter so much, it'll be people that didn't read the book, and you're like, well, because one, you weren't 11 when this series started, and you didn't read the books.
Well, I mean, the early ones weren't like amazing, but as she went along, she got really good. I mean, I think those later books were great.
And because he was so, like, he was like 11 when this series started, I felt like the book kind of just grew with them, and that's why it got better. Like, because an 11-year-old's sense of humor isn't going to be as good as an 18-year-old's sense of humor.
Exactly.
True.
YouTube has put me behind in my reading schedule, typically about 200 to 250 a year. I had to reduce my goal to 150. Don't think I'll get any more than that. Dude, that's a ton of reading, Sharemare. That is a ton of reading.
To make you think of that reading list from the Gilmore Girls, did anybody watch that show?
Oh, that show was great.
I'll confess I was a fan.
Well, somebody compiled a list of every book Rory ever said that she was reading on that series. And like, I think they determined it would take your entire, like, it would take like 20 something years or something to read the book she was reading.
Huh.
Oh, wow.
I didn't even think about that.
I don't know if I have like, another 20 years.
That's what I was saying. Some of her books were like written in Russian and stuff. I'm like, I'm still grasping English over here. I don't know.
I was gonna say I barely know English.
Yeah, we're on the internet. English is becoming a lost art.
I mean, we don't do cursive anymore. Like, how are we gonna sign checks?
To be fair, I only ever did half cursive.
We just scribble.
Anyway.
True. Oh, we got some.
No, it kind of sucks because I spent years working on penmanship. Like when I learned cursive, when they taught me cursive in second or third grade, I would literally go home with like note paper and practice my penmanship.
Oh, I was only practicing
all that practice wasted.
Well, I know, and you know the funny thing, because like we actually had a computer before most of the people that I knew, because my dad was a computer programmer, and so we got it for free. So I mean, I had a computer from the time I was 7th grade, I think. So honestly, you know, I struggle to put together, like I can type up an essay in like a couple hours, but if it comes down to actually handwriting it.
Like I said, the only thing I worried about learning once I learned how to do cursive was how to write my parents' signatures, so that way I could get out of trouble at school. Be like, "Yep, my mom told us how to do this."
So I sounded just like my mother. So my mom would go to work, and you know, I normally took I went to a Catholic high school that didn't have a bus. So I would ride, I had to take the bus from outside my house and do a transfer to a different bus to go to the school. And I had so many absences, I almost did not get to pass for the grade, because I would literally just call myself, yeah, Jen's not feeling well today.
So I just had to have a note, and that's what I would do is I would write a note like, please excuse Stacy from class yesterday. She was sick. And I would switch it up because I knew my mom's handwriting and my dad's. So I would be like, man, mom's written me a lot of notes this week or this month. So this one's going to have to come from dad. And then one day, this truancy officer called my mom.
Oh, no.
And I was like, I still have all A's. So clearly I don't need to be there 5 days a week.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the joys of going to a Catholic school, though. Enough. Oh, an 8-track. An 8-track. Man, that's like
my stepmom had an 8-track. My stepmom had an 8-track with the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack still.
I think everybody had that one.
I think that was mandatory if you came up in the 70s.
Yes, cursive is like hieroglyphics, Leon. It sure is.
Yes.
I mean, it pretty much might as well be. I'm trying to think. So my dad had this one of the stereos that you built it, like it had the turntable, and then it had the cassette player, and then they were separate, and then the radio was separate. And all I remember with him, like my parents were stuck in the 50s, 60s, and 70s music, whereas I have literally progressed. Like I listened to new music, but they stopped at 1979. But I swear it was all Beach Boys and Tijuana Brass. That literally was all I heard as a child. Not a bad combination, but still.
I was going to say, that's cool. That's cool.
8-track player with the turntable in it, and it was the size of a dresser. Yes, that's what ours was, except for it actually had a cassette tape instead of the 8-track, but that's exactly what it was.
My husband likes to tell people that if it was written before 2004, I probably know the words to it. And so he'll ask me, he'll be like, what song is this? And I'm like, no, you misunderstood. Like, I know the words to the song. I don't know the name.
No, what cracks me up is I am lucky to remember what I had for dinner yesterday, but then this song comes on that I haven't heard in like 15 years, and I'm like bebop, and I know every single word, but I can't remember dinner last night. Like, what?
I I'm the same. I'm the same way. My old lady used to talk shit to me about it because I'm like I'd forget what we did yesterday, but I can tell you who won the World Series in 1991. You know, that sort of thing.
Oh my gosh, Sean Cassidy on a 45. Sean Cassidy, my goodness. Oh, Tijuana Brass Whipped Cream. Yes. That was an amazing album. Back when it was actually an album. I loved unfolding the cassette cover to read the lyrics. Who else in the
Yes.
room did that? Okay, so I was the nerd that would make my mixtape and then I would literally play,
I was
pause
gonna say I before. used to play and pause to write down the lyrics for myself as I would sit there because the radio was like, up next is going to be, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready to hit record, ready to hit record.
Exactly.
And
I
there was
did
no
that so
editing
much.
out the ending part of the commercial whenever you accidentally got that back in the day.
Yeah, well, see, I got lucky. The radio station there, we had one radio station that was a it was like not hard, it was like kind of a cross between rock and hard rock. And they would do on Saturday nights, and I still remember this day. It was the Saturday night six pack, and they would do 6 albums from beginning to end, no commercials. Yeah, so you could
That is
literally
cool.
record the whole thing. Like, so you'd have, like, a little bit at the beginning of the very first song and the very end of the last one, but it was so great because, all you had to do was wait till Saturday and you could record a whole album, which was so cool.
Well, then we got dial-up and Kazaa. And so you
Ugh.
would you would say, what are like 2 songs I really want to download? And I'll go ahead and start that now before I go to bed. And they'll almost be done when I get home.
And heaven forbid you try to get on, oh god, what was the, I don't think
Napster
did
or
Napster do
LimeWire.
movies too? LimeWire, because LimeWire you could do, movies on, right?
Yes.
And,
Yes.
like, this
I'll
is
have
back when I
Casey
liked
case them.
yeah, this is like back when I liked South Park, and you would, like, queue up one 30-minute episode, and I'd go to work, and maybe it would be finished, probably not, I'd probably have another day to go. And, now we can get it done in 30 seconds.
Well, that's what's funny is that now, like, if it takes 30 seconds, you're like, what is taking so long?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, you don't remember having to turn your computer on and be like, beep, 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 beep. That's it.
Oh, our kids these days will never know the pain of squeal, 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 busy sign, busy tone, squeal. But I will say AOL saved me so much money in 2.5-inch discs.
Yeah, fair
Think
enough.
about it. I mean, everywhere you turn, here's a free disc. LimeWire's where
Yeah.
I got all the porn for my friends. Oh my gosh, that was like that's where everybody went to.
The worst thing was when you would wait all day, your song would get done, and you'd click on it, and it would not be that song.
Oh yeah, when they mislabeled it and you just wanted to slap yourself, you're like, literally, I've wasted all this
Yeah.
time for that.
Or do you remember when you had to like teach yourself the wrong names to songs because you were looking for a song, so you had to look what people thought the name was?
Oh yes.
Or who sang it. You're like, well, that's definitely not Green Day, but that's the song I want. I guess we'll take the gamble.
It was so funny, speaking of that. So Maroon 5, She Will Be Loved, talking about, I can't remember what the actual words are right now, but my daughter thought it was 16 sheep.
Mandy, I love the radio host Delilah. I used to listen to her every night on my way home from work. And she would be like,
I don't
has
know who
anyone
that
out
is.
there got an anniversary? We have someone who's celebrating 15 years today.
Yeah, dedications.
She was on like the pop hits from the 70s, 80s, 90s station where I lived. late at night.
See, that's why. Because yeah, I stopped listening to pop music like around like 1985 or so. So
yeah,
well,
I mean, I'm
when
more
you
hard
live in
rock
the
and heavy
South,
metal.
you had our pop stations or you had country stations.
Party line. Okay, so little known fact. So my mom, her phone, the phone number I had as a kid was actually my mother's teen line back in she graduated high school in 73. So it was her teen line, right? Well, apparently the phone number was formerly assigned to a funeral home. And or no, it was a church. That's what it was. And she'd answer, "Welcome to Harry's funeral home. You kill him, we'll grill him." Like she did all the weird stuff, or she'd, so and so's whorehouse. I mean, but yeah, but party line phones, that's crazy. Or, sharing one phone for the entire house and you're waiting on your boyfriend to call. And so you've got it drug into your room and everybody's, where's the phone?
Yep.
Do you remember you used to prank your family by dialing your own phone number, hanging up, and running away real quick so they would go to answer it?
And they'd get that horrible screeching busy signal when they picked it up.
Yes. And then you would immediately turn around like 10 minutes later and do it again.
Kids will never understand that. You stab them, we slab them. Exactly.
When cell phones first became a thing, my dad didn't realize that it told you who was calling you. So he would try to prank call you to get you back for all the times you did that to him as a kid. And he would just sit over there and giggle and laugh. And you'd be looking at your phone like, do I play along so that he thinks that he's really getting one over on me?
Exactly. Exactly. My dad did that too, though, Bugsy. I mean, my dad was that kind of guy. He had that weird sense of humor, and yeah, you ghost him, we roast him. Oh my gosh. Well, any other things that you guys want to say before we head out? Because I'm thinking we've been here about an hour, and I will let my lovely co-hosts.
Well, thanks for having me on.
Oh, thanks for having me on.
You guys were lots of fun. It was a lot of fun just chatting about just stupid stuff.
I like that. We got to do that more.
Yeah, it's just so much more chill, I think. My dad still doesn't understand he's talking to voicemail. Tell Kim or Dad called. Oh my gosh. That's so funny.
One time I got a text message from my dad that was like, "Hey, what time are you getting here?" And all I replied back was like, "Mom?" ? Because I was like, there is no way my dad just typed out a text message and figured out how to send it.
Does your dad know how voice chat or voice text works yet?
Well, he passed about 6 or 7 years ago, so at the time he still had his flip phone. That's how I knew it wasn't him, because there's no way he would have sat there and been like ABC.
Yeah.
Leon,
although eventually
green butt home.
You get pretty fast at that.
Exactly. Well, thank you all for making it less freaky for my first live. Everybody, thank you for coming. Hopefully I'll be a little bit more organized next time, but I think we had a lot of fun.
I did.
Oh, hey, Reagan.
Yeah, Reagan's such a sweetie. All right, guys. Well, thank you for coming, and I'll see you next time. See you guys. See you later, Stacy and Teabo, and yeah.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Night.